So, hey, we're live. So today on my timeline, I posted a pretty generic question, but I just wanted to see where everybody was at that follows me. And the question was, what is the number one food or substance that we could remove from our diet that's going to have the greatest impact on our health, on our physique? And here to talk with us now about her answer, which is pretty interesting, is Marci, my partner in crime on a new project we're about to announce. So Marci, you saw the responses. I didn't tally everything up, but we had an overwhelming amount say sugar. We had a lot of people say alcohol. There was a processed food. So a lot of good answers. People are kind of on the ball with this. How do you break things down by your method?
Okay, so yes, I would agree and say yes to all of those. But if you have to remove one, it would definitely be sugar, because sugar actually encompasses a lot of different things. So everybody who mentioned alcohol, sugar, processed food, grains, that's all sugar. So if you look at where sugar really is, or how your body looks at something as sugar, and yes, I hate to say it, but all of your coveted carbohydrates, even some veggies, are sugar. So it's where you source them from. But if you do, I just see my son in the background. So if you look at removing at least the processed foods, the grains, and the alcohol, you've hit three of the biggest sources of sugar, and you are going to have some pretty dramatic results that are going to benefit your health. I just recently had a client tell me that cutting out alcohol, she lost 7 pounds in a week. 7 pounds. So alcohol is definitely a biggie. But for sugar, get rid of the sugar. We know it causes inflammation. It causes all sorts of problems in our bodies. And just got to remember that sugar is in bread. Even if it doesn't say added sugar, there's still sugar in it. How your body views sugar is not necessarily how we view sugar. So sugar is my answer.
So that topic, I mean, when you say how our body uses and views it, I mean, are you talking like blood glucose response where, our blood sugar is being spiked, and just kind of how, like, the after effects of, the cascade that's going to create?
So yes, anything that's a carbohydrate is a quick source of energy. So it is some form of an OS. So you've got glucose, sucrose, fructose, lactose. Anything with an OS on the end of it is sugar. So think about that when you're looking at your ingredient labels. Not everybody's going to have the same insulin spikes based on certain carbohydrates. That is a very individualized thing. I know which ones work with me and which ones do not work with me. And that's something that I can definitely help you guys with, especially with what we've got coming up starting May 1st. So you guys really need to stay tuned for this one. This is going to be a truly unique opportunity.
So the next question I always get on this topic of sugar, of course, is, well, what can I eat? How do you have certain, natural occurring fruits or lower glycemic carbohydrates? What is kind of the go zone for people who are starting to make this transition? Are you just going to tell them to suck it up and deal with all the
sometimes
deal with all the withdrawal, or are we giving them a safety net? What's happening there?
No, basically what happens is we kind of work with you. I work with people individually and find out, what they're like not willing to give up and what they're willing to kind of budge on. Usually if I can get somebody to give up something for a week or two, then they will progress down. A lot of times it's more of a habit than actually something that they are realizing that they actually want. So when I work with people, I don't have a blanket statement for anybody for any of this stuff. That's why all the stuff I do is very individualized. But if you removed processed foods alone, so if it comes in a box, in a bag, has a UPC code on it, there's a good chance that there's a lot of stuff in it that you don't want. Now, of course, let's not, go off the deep end, because I know bananas and apples have UPC codes on them now, but I remember hearing somebody say, don't be dumb. I mean, it's kind of one of those, like, come on, literally, you know what we're talking about. And it's usually those things you don't want to give up. Yeah, I'll just leave that one there. Yeah. So here's a good rule of thumb. If it grows or you can kill it, you should be able to eat it. There are caveats to all of that, as always, but as a general guideline, if it has to go through a plant in order for you to be able to eat it, so if it has to go through a factory in order for it to be edible, then you probably shouldn't be eating it. And guys, that includes bread, because you're not picking the wheat in your backyard. And if you are, I'd like to get to know you. So I don't know anybody in this area who's doing that. Okay. It still has to go through a factory in order to be edible.
I got a few, my father-in-law and a few other people having their own sourdough starters, but that's about it. And sadly, those still make me bloat up quite a bit. So there's been no.
Because you have to feed the starter with something you bought off of a shelf.
That's true. I think he went full heirloom wheat from Italy, but I'll have to verify that with him. But
that's different. That's definitely,
yeah.
that's a whole, if you're buying it in the US actually adds gluten and adds stuff to their products, especially shelf stable products, that is illegal in other countries.
Yep, I've read that. Yeah, Europe's way ahead of it. Cool.
Oh,
all right. Well, thanks for
this
afternoon. We're just doing these as a quick hitter. We're announcing our official program. So if I don't want to tease too much about it yet, we're rolling details this Friday or so, give or take.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
definitely be following Marci on Facebook. Be following me on Facebook. Marci, you're doing a lot on Instagram. I'm still building up my Instagram habit, but you can see all her good stuff there, and keep those questions.
Follow me on my business page, which is Up to Date Nutrition, and so that's with the number 2, and we'll link that here in the bottom of this.
Perfect. All right. Thanks for the time, Marci. Go have a great afternoon.
Okay. You too. Bye.